Today we're going to follow Simona on an adventure, and let's just start right off. Simona is a 20 or so year old girl, and she has long hair and a green shirt with a blue hoodie on and brown details of the hoodie, and she is hanging out with Fia the fox and Goo, her knitted puppet or puppy, not puppet, yeah, puppet. And this puppet is, of course, magically living, and they are ready for going out for a walk. And as they're outside, Simona says, "Well, today I have thought about some things, and we're living in this magical world, and I don't think I've been accepting the magic of it all. I've just been so overwhelmed. But I think what we'll do today is get more familiar with the magic. Get some use out of this new things." And Fia says, "Oh yeah, that's great. We can go on an adventure to find some magic hidden treasure or something. Back when I lived in the forest, I loved looking for some forgotten magical items." And Simona says, "Yeah, well, let's just see. I do have an axe, so maybe adventure is my calling, so to say. I'm not super excited about the risking my life part, but the magic, I think I could really get into this whole magic thing. Let's ask someone." And they ask a person who live in this village it's called Tradeshillville, where they have recently moved in, and they ask the person where can I find a store with lots of magic and stuff. And they say, "Oh, it's up there on that mountain over there." And they point at a place that has a huge staircase up to their little hut, and the hut has a very Japanese style with a green roof. It looks very fancy, even though a little bit neglected at parts. Goo, as they walk up to this store, they Goo says, "Oh, is it really good that that you're going to accept that we are in this magical place? It's really fun to see you evolve, you know? I'm proud of you, Simona." Simona says, "Thanks, Goo." And they walk up and they see that there's a big sign on top of the door that says, "Lots of magic and stuff." And Simona says, I guess it's exactly where we want it to be. And they walk in and they see a place that is so cozy because it's filled with all kinds of things and bits and bobs, and it's just filled to the brim. And they start walking in to see if anyone is there. There seems to be no one around, but as they go and browse a bit, looking at weird things like, I don't know, a banjo without strings and a lamp with fancy patterns on it, and it's very, very messy in here. There's a stick, there's one single shoe without a partner, and there is a net, or a bug net, and there is a nice hammock hanging around, and then a quite young 17-year-old girl walks out. She says, "Oh, hi there, I'm Lily, and I'm here to help you if you need anything, or actually if you want to know what something does. If you need something specific, I probably won't be able to find it in here. Not even the owner of the store can find what they're looking for in here. We just have too much stuff. And I'm Lily, by the way, if I didn't already say that. Yeah, I'm hello." And she reaches out her hand, but then quickly retreats it back and says, or as you look at her, you can see that her hat, or her style, is very close to her name. Her hat looks like a witch's hat, but the brim kind of looks like a lily pad, and it has a piece missing out of it like lily pads do. And it's very nice, lily pad green, a little bit brighter, and the brim, 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 she's wearing is a nice teal dress, and behind her she has a broom that is upright and follows her around wherever she goes by gliding along with magic, of course. And it's a green broom with a lotus, a half curled up lotus flower at the top of the broom. And Lily, she has short purple hair and her eyes are a matching purple. And Simona says, "Oh, hey, I would love to get something magical. I'm just browsing around. I really don't know exactly what I want, but I'm quite new here to a lot of this town and just a lot of things." And Fia the fox says, "Yeah, we're adventurers, so adventurers need, we need all sorts of adventure-y magical stuff." And Simona says, "Well, we've have been on a few adventures." And Goose says, "Yeah, we're not adventurers, or we're not adventurers." I always forget Goose voice. And Goose says, "We're not adventurers, but Simona is quite good at it though, and Fia too." And Lily says, "Oh, adventurers, how exciting. My father never lets me join him on adventures. He's always says I need to watch the store while he's out. I would be excited to go sometime though. Of course, if my father ever lets me. I'm telling him he has been away. I'm telling him he's getting old for these adventures, and I should be the one starting to get the things for him. At least you, I can help you out with your adventuring, and maybe you can tell me how it goes. My father never really lets me know exactly, you know, the spooky details or the terrible fights. He's a bit secretive, but you can tell me, right?" And Simona says, "Yeah, I think I can let you know whenever I come back. I would love to have something that made sure that I came back though. Maybe there's like a magic thing for that." And Lily says, "Oh, as I said, it's really hard to find exactly what. Oh, look at this hat." And she picks up a hat that is green and has is a kind of like a round bowl hat brim and some feathers of different colors sticking right up from the band of the hat, making it look kind of like a crown. Lily says, "This is a great gone hat. It can take you anywhere, or not anywhere, but it can take you home from anywhere. So as long as you set up a little ritual for the place that is your safe space or your home, you can instantly go home. But as any teleportation magic, it is very expensive, so I couldn't just give it to you, sadly, but I could sell it if you ever get the funds. Anyway, I'm actually a bit worried about my father. He's the owner of this store. Larry Lorry Legend is his name. And Fia says, Legend is his last name? And Lily says, yeah, it's his last name. So I was wondering if you could possibly go and save him. He is at the Shane Caves and getting some stuff from there, but there's a lot of corridors in there, and I don't know exactly where he is, but it would mean a lot to you, adventurer. It would mean a lot to me if you went, adventurers. And Simona says, well, I guess this is becoming our job. And Lily says, oh yeah, of course, I will pay you well. Not quite as much as the great gone hat would cost, but I will pay you well. I'm sure if Larry is actually stuck somewhere, he will be glad to, give something up. And since it's very dark in there, do you have anything to light things up with? And Simona says, I don't think we do. And Lily says, well, here, have this friendly torch. And she gives them a torch that just looks like a normal wood torch. But she says, this is a magical torch, so just ask it kindly and it will create some light for you. And Simone says, yeah, we'll be off right away then. And then they walk out and they walk to where it is said that in the direction of the Shane Caves, in which Larry Lorry Legend is located. They go to the cave. Simona picks up the compass that she has. It's a true soul compass that shows her to where she supposedly is supposed to go, and she sees if it points in the direction that they're meaning to go this time, and it does seem to point to the entrance of the Shane Caves, which these caves have a big entrance, and it's decorated with carvings of creatures of different kinds, humanoid creatures and non-humanoids, things that Simona hasn't seen before, and even Fia, that is used to this magical world, have not seen some of these. On the outside, the Shanes go far across the outside, supposedly giving it its name. Metal Shanes, big and long, goes across all these carvings of the monsters, showing or suggesting that these caves might be used for some kind of prison. And they walk up to the entrance, and they feel a cold wind blow out slightly onto them. Simona takes a deep breath. I guess this is my life now, doing scary and dangerous adventures. She whispers to the torch, would you please give me some fire and light? And the torch flames up with a very bright and strong fire at the same time as it yells out a happy and enthusiastic yay. And as the fire is on, you can slightly hear it make a sort of snickering sound, very faint. It seems to be really enjoying helping out. And they walk into the cave, and there are already a lot of corridors and turns and twists. But, of course, with her true soul compass, that, by the way, consists of a little hand, a tiny hand, that walks around and shows the direction of where to go. And they walk, and they find a big creature, a horse-like creature that is big and strong, at least double the size of Simona. And they have to run back and hide. And the creature walks and walks. And it walks closer to them, to their hiding spot, behind a big rock. And it stands still for a moment and listens. But then it shakes its head and does a little horse sound. Brrr, and keeps on walking. Simona breathes out. If those are the creatures that we're going to be encountering in here, I don't think we're going to be able to. And Fia says, remember, we did fight an even bigger creature and we won. Simona says, that was very, very lucky of us. And also, I don't want to test my luck again. So, let's just try to keep low, okay? And they walk further and further in until they get to a room where they see a big creature that looks like kind of muscly, and it looks like they are kind of made of rock. They have a big head with big sharp teeth, and they have big muscles and big hands, and in a cage where the compass is pointing is another creature, humanoid form, but the person in the cage is red with blue horns. Sticking out, some kind of short and pointy horns, and they have dark hair, completely black. And they wake up a bit as they see the new visitors. And the big stone creature says or smiles at the sight of the small intruders. This fellow is also towering over them. Oh, I see Breath has new visitors. Won't you introduce yourself to me? You have come to my little room here after all. It's only fair that you introduce yourself. And Simona says, well, I'm Simona, and this is Fia the fox, and Goo. And Fia has a kind of a grin on her face, um, ready to attack. Let's get this fella. We're clearly not going to be diplomatic with this person. If he lives here and has caught this person we're looking for, and Breath says, well, if you don't wanna have a little talk before I demolish you, then that's just fine, because you're not getting past me. I am the great and mighty Breath. And Goo just rolls his eyes. And so does Orphea says, I could take you on any time. And she runs at him or them. And Breath just punches Fia right into the wall. And he gives off a bit of a laugh. And then Simona picks up her great magical axe that is green and gold, a green handle with a gold blade, and she swings it around, even though it's quite bigger than and heavier than she should be able to carry. It flows through the air with ease. And she says, all right. And Breath picks up a big metal sword and swings it right at Simona, who blocks with the axe. But Breath's power is quite powerful, and she flies right into the wall. And the big creature kind of pokes at them both a bit, or hits them with a stick, or the flat part of the sword rather, and laughs. You measly little creatures, I don't know why you even tried going in here to the Shane Caves. You couldn't even defeat a Rubbity Bunny. And he laughs as he picks up Fia and drops her to the ground again. But Simona sees a chance to stand up again and quickly swing at Breath with a sword or with her axe. And she lands one blow that makes Breath drop their weapon. And then she gives another hit and another and another. And Breath turns into the helpless one now. And Simona just keeps hitting and slicing at Breath's body. And she realized that she isn't the one in power now. She just keeps going, and now Breath is way too weak to fight back or stand a chance. And Simona is about to land the final blow when Goo says, maybe even though you have the right to, defend yourself, maybe you shouldn't need to finish him off. Yeah, I think you've done quite enough already. And Simona looks at Fia, who has a look of worry on her face. And Simona slowly lowers her axe, a little bit embarrassed at what she was about to do. Breath crawls away out of the room as Simona lets him go. It doesn't feel super good to see the even though mean creature being so powerless. But at least now she can open the cage, find the keys on the table and open the cage. And the shackles that undo the shackles that are stuck to this person, or actually before she unshackles the person, she says, are you Larry Laurie Legend? And he says, oh yeah, indeed I am. Indeed I am. Thank you very much for helping me out. I don't know who you are or why you came. And Simona says, oh, your daughter sent us. And Larry Laurie says, oh, of course she did. And good was that as well. I'm glad she didn't leave the shop to go herself. And Simona says, are we sure this is Larry Laurie Legend? Fia says, well, he's the only one here and he says he is. And the compass pointed us here, so yeah, but and then she looks at Larry and sees that he looks quite like some kind of monster person with red skin and blue horns on his head. He doesn't really look related to Lily, she says. And Goose says, yeah, I don't quite see the resemblance either. And Fia says, well, this world is quite you never know what happens in this world, you know? It's there's a lot of ways to get children, and children that doesn't look like you at all. I'm sure it's fine. And Larry says, "Oh yeah, she is not my daughter by blood. I've adopted her as I saw she was quite in need of a shelter." And Simona says, "Yeah, that's good enough for me." And she lets him free, and they help Larry walk out. He's a bit hurt, although all of them are quite weak, but Larry seems to be the weakest. And they manage to get all the way home. Fia asks, What were you doing in there anyway? And Larry says, "Oh, I was looking for this precious gemstone that has a very magical use. It's called the seer crystal. And I got some actually. And he shows that he has some in his bag. It's a glowing, brightly glowing crystal. And I can't believe, or he says, and that person in their breath seems to be wanting some business with me, because I am a mage, he noticed. So, he needed me to give to his superiors to pay off a debt or something. I'm glad I didn't get forced to use any of my magic for evil." And they make their way back. Back to the cabin, or the shop, in which they reunite Larry with Lily. And Lily says, "About time you showed up. I was, we needed someone to go and get Gary. He's been hiding in that spot I can't get to again." And Larry says, "I'm so glad that you were worrying about me. It's very touching." And Lily says, "I was just needing someone to feed Gary." And Larry goes to hug Lily, which she reluctantly agrees to and secretly enjoys. You can tell by her slight comfort in her eyes. And Lily says, "Oh, thank you so much again, adventurers, Simona and Fia. I'm sure my dad will help pay you," and they get quite a hefty sum of money. Still not enough for their great con hat that they wanted, but they do will be able to survive with this money for quite some time buying food, since they don't have a job here in this world yet. And Simona says, well, yeah, anytime you need some stuff done, we can help you out. We quite need the money, and fetching things seems to have become our job around here. But yeah, we'll be happy to learn more about magic from you too. But I think we, or at least I, need a nap. Fia seems to always have energy, but Fia seems to be quite exhausted today as well. And they leave a happy reunited family. Oh, and actually by the way, they got to keep their friendly torch, and they also got a piece of the glowing magical stone, the seer crystal, or sight crystal. I don't remember what it was called. And they put that piece in their home on a little shelf on their quite empty home. And they lay down to relax and be done for the day. A well worth day. So they will be well worth to sleep. I can't even speak anymore. I'm getting a little bit sleepy, I think. So they will relax and sleep, and I hope you can do the same. And I hope I will see you another time, friend. That was the end of our story.